Hey everybody, it is me, Hannah Faye. Sorry I have been gone for so long. I've been sick. I think I had the flu. I still feel pretty sick, but I'm back. I know a lot of you guys don't like TikTok. Some people absolutely hate TikTok, but please just bear with me. But I was on TikTok and I came across this video of a man by the name of Mr. Yeaster, and he does all sorts of cool tech experiments. If you don't like TikTok, he also has a YouTube channel, same name, Mr. Yeaster. He's definitely a channel that I recommend you go check out. But this video popped up on my For You page yesterday, and dude decided he was gonna mix some salt, table salt, with his thermal paste, because table salt has a pretty high thermal conductive rating. I'll just show you the video.
Should you add salt to your thermal paste when building your PC? On paper, the thermal conductivity of salt is around 7 watts per meter Kelvin, which is quite a bit higher than some thermal paste out on the market. This one here, for example, is 1 watt per meter Kelvin. So in theory, it might make sense to mix these together. However, in practice, we see that the salted thermal paste is around 20 degrees hotter than normal. Turns out salt rocks are thick and create distance between the CPU and cooler, making for some chunky thermal paste and bad thermal conductivity.
So yeah, 20 degrees hotter, not worth it. However, his comments were completely flooded with people saying, what if you ground the salt up? What happens then? So he did.
What if you grind the salt down to a very fine powder before mixing with thermal paste? Good question, let's find out. This probably isn't the most efficient way to grind down salt, but hey, it kind of worked. On the top, you can see the original larger salt rocks, and on the bottom, you can see the more finely grained powder. Now for context, with normal thermal paste, the system runs at around 49 degrees Celsius, and with the salt rocks in the last video, it was around 69 degrees Celsius. And so, under load with the salted powder and thermal paste, you can see that it's just under the 49 degree mark. At least in the short term, that works kinda well.
I can't believe it was actually cooler. The biggest issue with the salt is that it is too big of a particle. So PCGamer.com did an article on this video. I found it while researching, and they reached out to an Austrian hardware company called, I'm gonna slaughter this, Noctua, but they manufacture CPUs and coolers, so they would know a thing or two about this. PCGamer.com reached out to them and asked, what do you think about this? And they said, please don't do this, and they gave some reasons why. So they said they definitely do not recommend doing anything like that. And the reasons they gave were, quote, the thermal conductivity of salt is much lower than that of traditional filler materials such as aluminum oxide or other metal oxides, end quote, which is true. Aluminum oxide's rating is about 30 compared to salt's at 7. They also said salt particles keep the cooler from making good contact with the CPU. We did see in that first video that the salt particles were causing issues. They were too big. And last but not least, there's a high risk of corrosion issues. So I had to research these claims. So I found a few scientific articles, and I was able to find a lot of information actually about the corrosion of silicon, which CPUs are made of silicon mostly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna see if silicon is corroded by table salt. And it turns out that a lot of health care implants, they make out of silicon. And they found that they corrode really easily. Like some of these implants corrode within like 3 years, which obviously is not great. There's a lot of research out there. So what I found this one article. It's from the Journal of the Electrochemical Society, and it is called Silicon Corrosion in Neutral Media, the Influence of Confined Geometries and Crevice Corrosion in Simulated Physiological Solutions. In the article was this table where they took 6 different salt solutions and tested how corrosive they were to silicon. Here is the table. As you can see, solutions 1 through 6, they're all different types of salt solutions. Number 6 is just plain table salt, okay? So if you look right here at the corrosion rate, you'll see it's a dash. Dash refers to no corrosion detected. You can see that there was varying rates of corrosion, but when we come down here to the very bottom where table salt is, there was no corrosion. What I have found is that table salt is not very corrosive to silicon. However, CPU cooler heat sinks are usually made of copper or aluminum, and both those metals are very easily corroded when they come in contact with table salt. Also, I have no idea how table salt will react with the elements that are already in the thermal paste. So it could react in a way that could cause harm to your CPU. So just to be on the safe side, do not mix anything with your thermal paste. I love these types of experiments. I think they are so important that we do them. However, go ahead and leave that up to Mr. Yeaster, because it could end up being a very expensive mistake for you. Even though the grounded up salt mixed with the thermal paste gave him a better, lower temperature, you could also get those 1 to 2 degree differences if you just bought a higher quality thermal paste. So is it worth it? No, because it will probably corrode your parts over time. So my final verdict is do not mix anything with your thermal paste. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, remember to give me a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!